The Untold History of America. Imagine a land once ruled by powerful native civilizations, untouched by European hands. Then, one voyage changed everything. This is the untold story of America. A journey from ancient lands to modern superpower, filled with ambition, bloodshed, and transformation. Let's explore how America became the nation we know today. Part 1. Before Columbus. Long before Columbus ever set foot in the Americas, this vast land was home to millions of people. Native American tribes like the Iroquois, Apache, Sioux, and Cherokee had rich cultures, complex societies, and deep spiritual traditions. They built cities, traded across regions, and understood nature better than many of us do today. But everything changed in 1400. Part 2. Arrival of Columbus. In 1492, Christopher Columbus, sailing under the Spanish flag, arrived in the Caribbean. Though he never set foot on what we now call the United States, his arrival opened the floodgates for European exploration and colonization. Soon, the Spanish, French, Dutch, and British began claiming land, often violently displacing native people and forcing their own systems onto the land. Diseases, warfare, and slavery decimated native populations. Colonization had begun, and it would change the continent forever. Part 3. 13 Colonies and British Rule. By the 1600s and 1700s, Britain had established 13 colonies along the east coast. Life was tough. Settlers faced harsh winters, disease, and conflicts with native tribes. But they also built towns, farms, and economies heavily dependent on slavery, especially in the South. Soon, tensions grew between the colonies and the British Crown. Taxation, lack of representation, and British control became unbearable. Part 4. The American Revolution. In 7 the American Revolutionary War began. Against all odds, the colonies fought back, led by George Washington, supported by revolutionary thinkers like Benjamin Franklin and Thomas Jefferson. In 1776, the Declaration of Independence was signed, and by 1783, the colony had won. The United States of America was born, a new experiment, democracy. Part 5. Expansion and division. The 1800s were a century of growth and contradiction. America expanded westward, buying land, like the Louisiana Purchase, winning wars, like the Mexican-American War, and pushing Native Americans off their lands through policies like the Trail of Tears. But with growth came division, especially over slavery. Northern states were industrializing and moving away from slavery. Southern states depended on it. This tension exploded in Iran. Part 6. The Civil War. The American Civil War was the deadliest conflict in U.S. history. Over 600,000 people died as the Union fought to preserve the country, and the Confederacy fought to protect its way of life, including slavery. By 1865, the Union had won. Slavery was abolished. President Abraham Lincoln, who had led the country through the war, was assassinated shortly after. The country had survived, but was deeply scarred. Part C. Rise of Modern America. After the Civil War, America industrialized rapidly. New inventions, railroad, factories, and immigration turned the U.S. into a global powerhouse. Cities like New York and Chicago boomed. By the early 20th century, the U.S. was ready for the global stage. It fought in World War I, and then in World War II, after the attack on Pearl Harbor in 1940. When War ended in 1945, the U.S. emerged as one of 2 superpowers, alongside the Soviet Union. Part 8. Cold War to now. The Cold War shaped the second half of the 20th century. America and the Soviet Union competed in politics, technology, and ideology. The US landed a man on the moon in 1960, symbolizing its technological strength. At home, movements for civil rights, women's rights, and LGBTQ rights reshaped society. After the Cold War ended, America remained the world's leading power, economically, militarily, and culturally. But challenges still exist. Inequality, political division, climate change, and global tensions test the strength of the nation every day. So, how did America become a superpower? Through ambition, innovation, conflict, and resilience. But behind every war and victory are stories of people, some forgotten, some celebrated, who shaped this land. If you learned something new today, hit the like button, subscribe for more history content, and let us know in the comments. Which part of America's history surprised you the most? Thanks for watching.